Hi, welcome to this platform for Sensor Academy, either the YouTube channel or the Facebook page. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel and it is the first time, kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell in order to get notified when next I post any video. If you're watching this on our Facebook page, share the video, leave a comment, and tag others that may find this same very video very much beneficial for an exam build-up lesson and an exam preparation. In today's tutorial, we're going to consider linear programming, but by using a 2016, that is exam, where we're going to focus on finding the inequalities and plotting them on the graph, and thereafter know how best we can be able to come up with the maximum profit. So this was question 11, and it says a health lobby group produced a guide to encourage health living among the local community. Then it proceeds. The group produced the guide into two formats: a short video and a printed book. The question continues. The group needed to decide the number of each format to maximize profit. And then it further says, let X represent the number of videos and Y the number of printed books produced. Write the inequalities which represent each of the following conditions. So amongst the conditions that we are going to presently have, we have that is the total number of copies produced should not be more than 800. Then B, the number of video copies to be at least 100. C, the number of printed books to be at least 200. So it's highly relevant and important to find that as we are coming up with the inequalities, we will probably need to understand some terms. So when we talk about the word at least under linear programming is expressed as a greater than or equal to. So where we say at least 40 books, let's say the number of books is represented by X, we're trying to say we need more than 40 books, but if the number of books is going to be minimum, they should be equal to 40. So this is going to be greater than or equal to, that is a 40. This is just an example. So considering the conditions that we have, so here we're going to say the first one says should not be more than. The expression should not be more than also means should not exceed, and at the same time it means at most. So when they say should not be more than, this is rather the same as not exceed, and at the same time this is the same as at most, and this is going to be expressed as a less than or equal to. So we're going to go to our graph and then see how we're going to come up with everything. So on our graph here, we're going to ensure that we indicate that this is question 11, and then what we're having is A, because that one is A, and then Roman numeral 1. So Roman numeral 1. So the first one here says the total number of copies produced should not be more than 800. Now they are saying let X represent the number of videos and Y the number of printed books. So in this case, we're talking about the word copies, which is not trying to specify if we're talking about videos or if we're talking about printed books. Hence, we're going to say this is going to be X plus Y, and the condition is should not be more than. So less than or equal to, that is 800. Then we move on to B. So on B, it's trying to say the number of video copies to be at least 100. So we're going to go to how we are representing the videos. The videos are represented by, that is an X. So we're going to say X, and it is saying at least, which is greater than or equal to 100. So then we come on to, that is a C, the number of printed books to be at least 200, and here it says the number of printed books should be represented by Y. So we're now going to say for the third one, we're going to say Y, and the condition is at least. So we're going to say greater than or equal to 200. So when we put in that way, it's either we can write it vertically or horizontally. So X plus Y, which is the total number of copies, should not be more than 800. Then for X, we have that is greater than or equal to, that is 100. Then Y, which is at least 200. Then the question proceeds to where it simply says, using a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 100 copies on both axes, draw the X and Y axis for 0 up to 800. So when they say 2 centimeters, this simply means we're talking about one box. So if we're talking about one box in this instance, we need to know to say one box is representing 100 units, and they're trying to say in the X, we're moving from 0 to 800. If one box is representing 100 and we are moving from 0 to 800, it simply means you're going to have 8 boxes to the right. Then 0 up to 100 in the Y, up to 800, and then we are taking 2 centimeters to 100 copies. It simply means we're going to have 80 boxes, that is on the upper, that is axis. So if this is our graph, we're going to say if we put that is a 0, let's say we put that is a 0 here, we're going to count that is 8 boxes upwards and 8 boxes that is to the right. So here I'm going to say, if we say here, so we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8. Again, here we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we're going to draw. We're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we're going to draw. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we're going to say Y. And then also to the right, we're now going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So an 8 is going to be here. So this one is going to be, that is X. So in the X-axis, we are going to have, that is the number of videos produced here. I'm going to write it beneath. So we're going to have the number of videos produced. So this is a 0, then 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Then here we're going to have 80, 100. And then here we're going to have 100, 200, 300, 400, 300. Then we're going to say 500, 600, 700. Then we're going to have, that is 80, 100. So this is what our graph looks like. So in the Y and then in the X. So in the Y, we're going to write it in this way. We're going to write it in this way. So in the Y, we're going to write that is printed books. Printed books. So we're going to start graphing the inequalities. Upon starting to graph the inequalities, we're going to start with this one, which says X plus Y is less than or equal to 100. So when you have x plus y as a combination of the two letters that are representing the two items in the question, it means this value is the same in this axis, this value is also the same in this axis. So x is 800, y is 800. So it is here, and also at the same time it is also that is here. So we're going to put that is line. So upon putting a line, we're going to see that the line is going to be solid. Okay. So the main reason why I have drawn a solid line is because it has an equal to. So when it has an equal to, you express it as a solid line. If it has a less than, you express it as a broken or dotted line. So in this instance, we're going to see where to shade from. So we're going to find that the one that we have presently says less than or equal to. If it has an equal to here, it is a solid line. It is a solid line. It is a solid line. The moment it has this one or this one, it means this and this are going to be broken lines. So this one is saying less than or equal to 800, which means we're supposed to shade that is in the lower region. Lower region is here. So we're going to shade that is in the above region here. So I'm going to shade in the above regions. You shade neatly. So when you are shading a line that intersects in the x and the y, you make sure that you shade in the opposite. You shade in the opposite. So this is how it looks like. You shade in the opposite. And then we move on to the other one. The other one says x greater than or equal to 100. This means we're going to draw a solid line which passes through 100. So here we're going to put it in this way. So 100 is here, so which means we're going to draw a line that is going to pass through this line. A solid line, and then it says greater than or equal to. So this is greater, then this is less. So since it says greater than and we are to shade the opposite, so in the x we usually shade where the inequality is facing, maybe in that simpler way. So here we're going to shade like that. Right. So this one is, that is, you even indicate that is on top. So this one is x greater than or equal to 100. Then this one we're going to label. First we're going to come to the last one, which says y is greater than or equal to 200. So we're going to pass in the y, but where 200 is. So 200 is here. So we're going to pass here. But remember, we are passing using, that is, a solid line, and it says greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to, which simply means we're supposed to shade on the upper, but in the y you shade in the opposite. So we're going to shade just beneath. So do not intersect the lines. So when we shade like that, in the y, we're going to indicate that this is y greater than or equal to 200. Then this inequality is x plus y, which is less than or equal to 800. And this is the region, which is R. So we're going to put R as the unshaded region. So having done that, it simply means we've understood. First things first, we started with this line. This line was drawn as a solid only because this kind of a line we're trying to talk about is a solid line. And being a solid line means the inequality had an equal to. It's either it is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. This one that passes at 100 is also a solid because it had an equal to. But to shade in the x-axis is very simple. You shade where the inequality is facing. So if it was a greater than, you shade where the greater than faces, which is actually the left. Then if it is a less than, you shade to the right where it faces. But in the y-axis, you shade the opposite region. So this one was saying we shade greater, but because it was a greater than, we want the unwanted region, which means here we're going to shade downwards. For this one, it was saying less than, so we shade that is the upper one. And having done that, it means this is the unshaded region. So the question continues. The question continues, which says the profit of each video copy is 15 kwacha. While the profit on each printed book is 8 kwacha. How many of each type were produced to make maximum profit? So in this instance, we're going to ensure that we look for the regions which are intersecting on the graph. So we're going to find that we are intersecting here, we're also intersecting here, and we're intersecting there. So if we can talk about these coordinates, this is 200, this is 100, 200. Then this one is 200, that is comma. This is 600, sorry. This is 600, 200. The reason why I've picked 600, it's this one, 600, 600, 200. Then this is 100, 200. Then the upper one here, that is 100, that is 700. So this is 100, 700, like this. So we're going to say, since the question that is following is a Roman numeral 3. So we're going to say Roman numeral 3. We're going to say the profit on each video copy was said to be 15 kwacha. So we're going to write 15. Video copy is represented as X, then plus the profit on each printed book is 8 kwacha. And we're going to do a trial and error using the coordinates that we currently have. We have 600 and 200. We've got 800 and 200. We also have 100 and 700. So when we replace these two values here and those two values on each point of the intersection, wherever there will be the highest value, that's where the maximum profit lies. So we're going to try. So here we're going to do a trial and error, but in an exam you can be doing this on a calculator. So let's say we start with 100, 700. We're going to say this is 100, and then plus this is 8, and then this is going to be a 700. So this is going to give us 1,500, then plus this one is going to give us, that is a 56, a 5,600. So if we add this, we're going to say 0 and 0, 0. So we're going to say 15 plus, that is a 56. This is 1, 7. So this is going to give us 7,100. We keep it. Then we also do it again. We're going to say 15. Then here we're going to say 100, 200. The other pair of coordinates. So we're going to say 15, then 100, then plus. That is a 200 multiplied by, that is an 8. So here we're going to say 1500, then plus, this is 8 times 2, which is 16, then the zeros. So here we're going to have 3100. This is going to give us 3100. And also we try the other coordinate, which is 600, 200. So we try it here, 15x plus 8y, so 15. Then this is 600, and then plus 8. Then here we're going to put a 200. So for a 200, it's giving 16. Then plus, this is 0 and a 0. 6 times 15, this is a 90. So 9,000 plus 1,600, this is going to give us, that is 10,600. So we are going to compare. Here there is a 10,600. Here there is, that is a 7,100, 3,100. So the maximum profit is here, which is on the coordinates of 600, 200. So this will be the answer. So here we're simply going to write 15. Then here we're going to say 600. Then plus, that is a 2, that is an 8, then 200. So this is going to give us 9,000, and then plus, this is going to give us 1,600, which is giving us 10,600. So this is not the answer because it said maximum profit. So the question was simply saying how many of each type. It was saying how many of each type were produced to make maximum profit. So we're going to say therefore 600 videos and 200 printed books were produced. So we put it in that way. So having said that, means we are done. So you try these two coordinates, you replace on x and y. You also try these two coordinates, which is this and that, you replace on this and that. You also try this and that, you replace on this and that. So whichever of the three amongst the coordinates gives you the highest value is where the maximum profit lies, which is 10,600. But that's not our answer. So I'm going to say 600 videos and 200 printed books, because 600 represents X and 200 represents Y. So 600 videos and 200 printed books were printed. Having done that, it means we are done. I hope you find this video very much beneficial for an exam build-up preparation and as an exam build-up revision for your oncoming final exam. This remains your tutor, Mr. Sensor from Sensor Academy School of Tuitions. Till in the next video, for now, it's a very goodbye.